Indiana just got a huge prediction in landing a consensus 5-star in all of college football, and this would be absolutely massive for the Indiana Hoosiers. This is the Big Ten Huddle. I'm JR. If you don't know me, cover Big Ten football, basketball as well, and one of the teams we love to talk about the most on this channel is the Indiana Hoosiers on this podcast. We also have a podcast. You can go listen over there too. But one of the teams we talk about the most is obviously the Indiana Hoosiers, not just because they won the national championship, but because of the historic rise right now of this program and everything they are building, everything that they are. So Steve Wiltfong of On3, well, Rivals now, he put out an article today and he put in an expert prediction for Indiana to land the consensus 5-star wide receiver Monshun Sales. Here's what he said. He said, Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas are the challengers with Sales, targeting a mid-July commitment. Next up for the Indianapolis Lawrence North 5-star is to return to Alabama for the weekend of May 29th. But right now, the intel currently favors Indiana's position for the Rivals industry top-ranked wide receiver Monshun Sales. And now my Rivals prediction machine forecast reflects that. So very cool here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that it has to make more and more fans believe in Indiana. More and more college football people believe in Indiana. Like, I think there's a lot of people that said Indiana, they're not going to be as good this year and stuff like that, that kind of like eat their words. Now, are they going to be as good as they were last year? I mean, they were 16-0. Do we really expect them to go 16-0 again? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to bet on it because I don't think that's going to happen. I just can't really pick any team to go back to back like that. But I mean, on FanDuel, they do have top 5 odds right now to win the national championship, which I'm not telling you to go bet FanDuel, but I am telling you that it's kind of a good barometer for the nation where people think, teams at. Right now, they're tied with Texas at plus 750. So maybe Josh Pate's interview got them really high up there. I can't remember where they were at before that, but right now they're tied for third with Texas at plus 750, which is pretty incredible that a team like Indiana is tied with Texas in national championship odds. But overall, this is just huge. If they actually do pull this off and get Monshun Sales to commit, again, he hasn't actually committed yet. This is just a prediction from Steve Wiltfong. If he does, this is going to be huge, not only for Curt Cignetti, but Mike Shanahan. And Sales is the type of guy that would keep Mike Shanahan around with Indiana longer. And I don't say that as I think, he's going anywhere anytime soon, but at a certain point, there is a thought process for many of these coaches of I've done everything I can do here. Well, yeah, but have you developed a guy with the speed, with the talent, with the ability, the physical profile of one Monshun Sales? All right, he is a ex-receiver, 6'5", anywhere from 200 to 210. Kind of see him listed a little bit different at a number of places. He has elite speed. He has a track background. He has incredible ball skills. His versatility and physicality is really good as well. I'm not saying he's Jeremiah Smith or anything like that, but he is definitely somebody who has that, that kind of number one player in college football type of potential to be really, really excellent and to be just kind of regarded as the guy in college football that nobody else can really go against. So really interesting stuff here with him. Another recruit that I want to point out is Roman Igwebuike, I believe is how you pronounce it. Indiana has been on the gas for Rivals 300 linebacker Roman. Steve Wiltfong says, he said the blue chipper was supposed to take his official visit the weekend of the Little 500, but was unable to attend. Cignetti, Bryant Haynes, and company will be excited to spend time around him this weekend. And with how much we know about how important the linebacker position is, obviously the defensive line is where it all starts up front for Indiana, but just how important quality linebacker play is for Indiana. And not just quality, but some of the best in the nation. You have some of the best linebackers in the nation. Isaiah Bones Jones, he's one of the best in the nation. Elijah Hardy, probably the most underrated linebacker in the nation, in my opinion. And Aiden Fisher, I know he didn't have a huge, I forget where he's drafted at. Maybe was it 4th or 5th round or something like that. Sorry, I don't always remember the draft selections and stuff. But he was regarded by some people as the best linebacker in the nation, and some people with like opinions that I trust, some people that were willing to kind of go outside the box a little bit. Now, was that reflected in the NFL draft? No, Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, they were obviously physical specimens that went top 10, both of them. But Aiden Fisher, in terms of how he plays, what he's able to do, it was really, really big with what he was able to do for them last season as well. So he's the type of guy. Roman is the type of guy who has elite closing speed. I mean, a high tackling ability. He's very explosive with not just his blitzing skills, but his ability to get to a ball carrier. He is the type of guy that always seems to make the right, kind of angle, take the right kind of pursuit angle and stuff like that, which, when a guy is starting to show that in not even like just college football, but in high school football, that is something that is super valuable for a guy to have. So when you look at Roman, I'm trying to see if I can find his, I think he's like 131 in the country, according to Rivals. I'll have to double check that. I got it right here. Yeah, I can pull it up here. So Rivals has him as 139, the number 13 linebacker. Rivals industry rankings has him as 161, the number 15 linebacker, and he's from Illinois. So right across the state line from Indiana there over to Illinois. I just think Roman would be a perfect fit into this team and Brian Haynes' system and everything he does there. I don't know how much longer Brian Haynes is going to be at Indiana. The dude's going to get some big head coaching offers at some point, but man, if you're like, wouldn't you just stick around? You're just going to keep winning, and one of you guys is going to be the next head coach at Indiana, most likely. And Curt Cignetti is going to set you up for great success. Like, I don't know, if I were you, I'd probably just stick around and, have some fun with it. But Roman, definitely another one I want to highlight. Let me see. I want to highlight another guy or two. Let's talk about Myles Smith from he's an edge rusher, a Rivals 300 type of guy. He is from Farmington, Michigan, and he's the type of guy that would be really, really impactful for this Indiana team, as well as he is the number 130 player according to Rivalry Industry Rankings, have him as 255. But obviously, Rivals see something in him, and when Rivals see something, but more importantly, Curt Cignetti sees something, I'm inclined to believe Curt Cignetti and what he sees in these type of players. So I feel really good about Myles Smith and his ability. He's a 2027 kid, so he's a 2027 recruiting class, 6'5", 215, like I said, from Farmington, Michigan. He has a really nice frame, and I think he's the type of guy that you bring him in and you put him in the right strength and conditioning system. He might be a 3-star now with some places out there, but he's only going to get better. And one of the reasons that is because of the speed, when you see the type of speed that he has out there and the burst ability and things like that, but also the basketball background that he has as well. When you start seeing some of those two-sport athletes able to do that, some of that stuff, and when you see him a little bit undersized like Myles Smith is, like I said, he's only 215, you see a frame on top of that can continue to fill out and get bigger. Like, I think he adds 15, 20 pounds at the very least, maybe even 25, 30 pounds in college football. And this Myles Smith guy, I think he's going to remain very fast, very versatile, be able to get around the edge, have some good bend. He has a good football IQ as well, which is one of the things that Curt Cignetti sees better than almost anybody else out there. And I think some of these guys don't always, I think some places don't always take that into account. They just see the incredible athlete and they say, oh, got to go after this guy. But for Cignetti, he sees the potential of the athlete, and he also sees the football IQ they have on top of that. So he's going to visit Indiana on May 15th. Today, if you're watching this on Friday. And then he's also got Missouri, Michigan State, Kentucky, and the Michigan Wolverines involved here as well. I think Michigan is probably your biggest your biggest threat here in this situation. Michigan State maybe as well, but I think Michigan's probably your biggest threat here. Let's do one more, and then we'll get to the Big Ten Bible study. I had one more here at the end. Oh, well, Bob Bostad. I guess I won't go through each of these guys in particular, but I will talk about how Bob Bostad, it's a big weekend for him on the offensive line. He has Mason McDermott and Caleb Johnson coming in. Dominick Black, a Rivals 300 recruit, is coming in for his official visit. The Hoosiers are the favorite to land Dominick Black. I would not be surprised if Dominick Black commits on his visit. We'll see what happens. But, this is just incredible news, incredible timing, things like that for Indiana right now with recruiting and everything else. So, man, if you're an Indiana fan, you got to love what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And it's just great news all around for those Indiana boys. So congrats, Indiana fans, man. You guys are killing it. It looks great for you all right now. And we'll see if they can keep it up.